The number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
This is Maya Anderson. She is a soft-spoken young woman that keeps to herself. Even at her job as a dental assistant, her coworkers do not know much about her. They only know she moved to the city about 6 months ago and doesn't often, if ever, talk about family or friends from back home. Maya is as mysterious to them as a stranger passing them in the street. Maya comes into her apartment after work and is met with an ominous feeling something was off. It was usually quiet, but it was different today. Immediately, she felt uneasy in her own home. She puts her purse down on the counter and begins to investigate the apartment carefully, as if she doesn't know what is around the corner. She notices the bowl of food she left out for her cat is as full as she left it this morning. "Max, where are you?" she yells out, but is met with dead silence, no movement at all. She notices a window in her living room is open enough for him to get out. She tries to remember if she may have left it open, but doesn't think she did. She starts to rationalize it and begins to believe she just left it open and somehow the cat must have gotten out. The next day, Maya prints out missing posters with a picture of her cat that she will post around the neighborhood as she looks for him. Her boss notices her nervous behavior and says, "Are you okay, Maya? You've been pacing around all shift." Maya responds, "Yeah, I'm okay. Max got out last night. I've been worried sick. I'm going to hang missing posters up after work." She starts putting up the posters around her building, taping them on the outside walls and light poles, anywhere they would stick. She begins to wander down the street, still posting signs and hoping to see Max as she walks. She walks nearly a mile down the street with no luck. She begins to lose hope of finding him. She walks into a convenience store to ask the teller if he can take some signs in case one of the local patrons has seen the cat. The sun is starting to set at this point, and she wants to be home before it gets too dark. But as she is walking, she begins to notice something weird. It seems her signs have been torn down. At first she thought it may have fell off from the wind, but as she continues to walk, every sign she put up had been torn down. The only thing left in its place is the tape she used to put them up. She begins to run back to her apartment in fear. It's only a half of a mile, but it feels like an eternity as the streets become darker. She's confused and begins to look around to see if someone is following her before she enters the building, but nobody is looking her direction as they go by. She barges into the apartment and locks the door behind her. She begins to breathe a sigh of relief, but this is short-lived. As she turns, she is met with the same window that was open a day prior is now closed. She purposely left it open this morning, hoping the cat may find its way home and come back through the window. She is terrified now. She is certain somebody was in her apartment. She grabs her car keys and a small envelope with a bright red seal that was stuffed in between two couch cushions. She runs out of her front door towards her car. The lighting is limited, so she can barely see where she is running, but she knows exactly where her car will be. She makes it to the dark asphalt of the parking lot and is running so fast without looking, she trips. She falls hard. The only sound that is audible to her is her keys crashing into the darkness, out of reach. Maya Anderson was a soft-spoken young woman that kept to herself. Even at her job as a dental assistant, her coworkers do not know much about her. They only knew she moved to the city about 6 months ago and doesn't often, if ever, talk about family or friends from back home. Maya was as mysterious to them as a stranger passing them in the street.